Well, I haven't been warm on a bike in a while. It's 63 degrees out. This is the trip home on my first commuting day of 2016. And the topic for this video is why commute on a motorcycle. When I thought about getting a bike last year, I really didn't know where I was going to ride it, how often. I figured I would ride it around my local area most of the time, and maybe ride it to work, I don't know, once in a while, maybe once a week if I really got comfortable with it. Well, it didn't take long and I was riding it twice a week, as long as the weather allowed. And of the 5,000 miles I put on it before the end of the year last year, most of that was commuting to work. And I had no idea when I first got it that that's what I would spend a lot of time doing. So why, it should be a no-brainer, right? At least to me. Why wouldn't you commute to work? Well, it amazes me how many bikes there are for sale that people just don't ride. This bike was 8 years old and had just over 5,000 miles on it. So it had about 800 miles a year of riding on it. And my friend Josh, who bought a bike last week, same scenario, almost exactly. 8-year-old bike, again, about 5,000 miles on it. And both of our bikes, the tires, what is this guy doing? The tires are dry rotted, but still have plenty of tread on them. So basically they're not worn out, they're just like rotted out because they're not used. And you know, tire life, 5-6 years, that's it. You shouldn't go longer than that. Dead battery, very common for buying a bike that's just been sitting around in somebody's garage. And so why do people buy bikes and not ride them? I guess that's really the question. It seems to be something more common among Harley riders for some reason. And non-Harley riders will say, you know, talk trash, call the Harley bikes garage queens and things like that. And they have a point, you know, if the bike's just sitting around in a garage most of its life. So I bought my bike to ride it. Now I leave for work about 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. So the ride to work is an hour of traffic, some listening to the radio, maybe some music, things like that. And it's just, you know, get to work. And my day goes from 8 a.m. to 4:30, and then the ride home is kind of tiresome, you know, another hour of can't wait to get home, and it's just a long day. You know, when you add it all up, it's almost 11 hours that I'm away from home, and it feels like it when I walk in the door. Wow, it is really windy out here. So when I ride my bike, totally different. When I ride my bike, like I did today, I feel like I'm having fun till 8 o'clock when I walk in the door. And I just left. I left early today because I have something going on tonight. But if I leave at 4:30, I'm having fun at 4:31. So it makes my work day feel so much shorter. So I love it. I mean, I don't know why anyone that rides would pass that up. Being an hour away is a little bit of a challenge, especially in spring and fall. Today's a perfect example. When I left this morning, it was 41 degrees. I had full thermal liners on, a scarf, winter gloves, and tonight I have no scarf. I had to take my thermal liner out of my jacket, otherwise I would be really hot. I have the vent open on my helmet, and I have my winter gloves on still, but my hands are getting a little sweaty. So there is a lot of little annoyances that you have to adjust to because there's a 25-degree temperature swing. Come summer, not as big a deal. You can wear your summer gear in the morning and night. So, commuting, yes, you're leaving and coming home at different times of the day. You have different weather conditions. So that can be a little different than when you just go out for an hour or two on a weekend. Wear and tear on the bike, obviously. But there's going to be wear and tear on my car if there isn't on my bike. And my bike gets about 15 miles or more per gallon better mileage than my car. So a little bit of benefit there. And there are other things. Like, for me, the perfect scenario would be like being a half hour from work. If I was a half an hour from work, I would ride my bike every day unless it was raining or snowing. Because, within reason, I mean, if it's 10 degrees out, it's not going to happen. But you can get away with a lot more on a half-hour ride than you can on an hour. I've been out on days where I rode to work and I kind of chanced it and froze the last half hour of my trip home, things like that. That wouldn't be a big deal if my trip was shorter. So I guess the distance is a factor in whether to commute or not. But I bought this bike to ride and enjoy, and I am definitely doing that. I expect to wear this bike out. It's only got 11,000 or coming up on 11,000 miles, and I do all of my own maintenance that I am capable of doing, fluids, adjustments, all that stuff. I expect by the end of this summer I'll need new tires because I will have worn these out. I got them new last year. And someday this bike will have 50,000 miles on it, and for an Evo engine, that's not even halfway worn out. I mean, these things will go over 100,000 miles, but I just might be tired of it at that point and want something different. So that's why I ride, why I commute. It's enjoyable. I don't really understand people who have a bike that sits at home and hardly gets used, but I guess everybody has their own preferences. So if you're wondering about the practicality of commuting to work or school or whatever, just try it. I guess it's just not for everyone. There are times when I'm on my bike and I wish I could flick a radio on. I have XM radio in my car, and I know you can get all that stuff on a motorcycle, but I'm not going to put it on this bike. And, there are times in the fall where I wish I could flick on some heat. And again, you can get a heated suit. I'm not going to go that route. But aside from giving up a few conveniences in the car, it really has worked out well. And it's just made life a little more enjoyable. And I guess that's really what it's about. So those are my thoughts on why commute, whether you should commute on a motorcycle. And I guess it's up to you as a rider to decide if it's something you want to do. So that's it for today. I'm going to enjoy the trip home, and I'm looking forward to many more rides in 2016 back and forth to work.